The news is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon, Nail Spa and Barbershop, Tisley Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, and Digicel, simply more speed, reliability and entertainment.
Plug into Digicel Plus and get even more entertainment with Disney Plus included. The best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic all in one place. Whenever you want, plug into Plus to enjoy Disney Plus and much more with a home fiber bundle. Sign up today. Digicel Plus.
In his quarterly progress report on the framework for the implementation of the Commission of Inquiry's report, recommendations, and other reforms, His Excellency Governor John J. Rankin has marked down as one of his disappointments tender waivers on the part of Cabinet. But Premier and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Whitley, says the governor is misguided on this.
In terms of the concerns he highlighted, my ministerial colleagues and I have had an opportunity to engage the governor to properly understand the source of his concerns. After a thorough discussion, I believe there is a genuine misunderstanding on the particular issues which we unfortunately did not have an opportunity to discuss and clarify before publication of the governor's report. In terms of tender waivers, it is important to understand that this term does not appear in our local laws. The Public Finance Management Act mandates that all contracts $100,000 and above must be tendered unless Cabinet directs otherwise. Therefore, Cabinet had unlimited discretion in not doing open tendering, which we recognized way before the COI had to change. Way before the COI, we were in the process of developing a stand-alone procurement act to modernize our legislative framework on procurement. We now have in place the Public Procurement Act, which gives clear guidelines on how procurement is to be done and has removed the open discretion which previously existed. Procurement can be done through either open tendering, restricted tendering, or single source procurement for the most part. The circumstances in which each can be done is clearly defined in the law and the regulations, and is supposed to improve competitive bidding, value for money, and transparency. Single source procurement is not the equivalent of a quote-unquote tender waiver. The legislation clearly defines the instances where it is not necessary to go through an open tender. For example, contracts for emergencies or contracts for national security matters do not have to go through open tendering. Currently, we are in a transitional phase where the ministries are transitioning previously signed rolling contracts for various services. These contractual arrangements were made before the new legislation was passed. The Ministry of Finance is providing the required training to accounting and financial planning officers across government to expedite this process. In the meantime, however, we cannot simply stop procuring services which are needed, such as transporting our students, for instance. A transition period is necessary to integrate previously signed rolling contracts into the new system now in place under the Procurement Act.
By and large, Premier Whitley says that the Government of National Unity is nearing the 100% mark on its commitment.
By the end of August, 94% of the recommendations were either completed or were in progress of being completed.
While acknowledging the Government of National Unity is a shortfall, Premier Whitley also said that the governor had his feelings.
We were very ambitious in our commitments, and unfortunately, deadlines have been missed. It is important to note that deadlines have been missed on the governor's side as well as on the side of Cabinet. In all instances, these deadlines have been missed for good reason. For instance, we have insisted that the Jury Act and the Register of Interest Act, both which fall under the Governor's group's responsibilities, receive proper consultation as opposed to being rushed through the legislative process. We understand that this is not to be a box-ticking exercise, but a real effort for real and sustained change. And this is not something that should be rushed. It is important to acknowledge, however, we are heading in the right direction.
This was all said at the October 7, 2022 press conference called by Premier Whitley.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Freeze. Choose your mix, choose your flavor.